Right, we are going to install a trailer brake controller in an old truck. Now it's going to be about the same in any old truck. Once you get into the 90s, it's going to get a lot more difficult. The good news is, once you get into the earlier models, you can usually go to your dealer and pick up an adapter. If yours happens to have a trailer package, you can just plug it in, and then all the wires you need are on this pigtail to hook to your brake controller. So as long as you buy the right adapter. But on an older rig, there is no plug underneath the dash, so you just find your wires that you need to connect to, and you look under here, and the majority of your wires is right here on your steering column. So that's brake controller, blinkers, and everything that's going up to your column signals. And then you usually have a fuse box of sorts under here. And so you go from there. Now, all you're really going to have to hook up is, we got this, which goes all the way to the back of the vehicle, to the trailer plug, where the brake controller is. And then we have this one, connects to the brake light. So this one we know only has power to it when you apply brakes. This is your ground, and this is battery feed. So direct from the battery, we will have to put a fuse in and come off the battery. And so first thing I'm going to do is get my voltmeter, make sure it's on 20, because we know we're going to have at least 12. At most 12, I should say. And we're going to start here on this module here, and I believe we can actually see, that's a nice thing about working on these old trucks, we can see this is the brake controller module. When I push the brake, it releases that switch, which tells us the truck brake's being pushed. So we know that that's like a reddish pink wire, so it's over here. And we can follow it and tie into it wherever we want, really. I just like to be as least evasive as possible. So in this truck, I kind of lucked out. There is a plug right here, and I noticed it had the same color wires that was coming off that brake control. And I have a constant on this side, and I have brake only. It only gets 12 volts when I push the brake on this side. It's not really heavy gauge wire up there, so I don't think I'm going to use it from my constant to the brake controller, even though that might be what that's for. I'm going to go ahead and run a heavier gauge wire directly from the battery with a fuse in it, inline fuse that I can put a what they call a circuit breaker fuse. It looks like this for the blade style fuses, and what it does is it resets itself, so you're not without brakes. This one's 15, but I'll pick up a 20 and use it. So we're gonna, at least we know we have a good spot to hook into our brake controller. I'll just put a blade adapter on the controller wire and hook it there, and then I'll run a hot. And then next you want to find a good ground that you can trust. for your ground, and then we'll run the wire all the way back to the trailer plug. So have it spliced into the battery terminal here. Make it as pretty as you want. I know that's not very pretty. You could go buy you a fancy battery terminal, run it down here into a block. That's probably the prettiest way to do it. Into a fuse block, then you can mount your fuses. But you can run the wire there into a fuse holder and then put in the amperage that your controller recommends. It's usually 20 to 30. I have a 25 in there, and that runs up and around and into one of the many holes in your firewall. And I ran it in there. I have the in and out, so the wire coming in from the battery, and then the wire coming in from, or coming out from the controller, goes down to the chassis, running along with the other wires to the back. Here's our 7-pole trailer plug. We ran in with the other wiring. Alright, so as you can see, depending on how your plug will be marked, the blue is the brake controller. So that's the one on the bottom there next to the ground. Looking at it this way, it is the bottom right. Okay, so with the mounting hardware, you can mount it to the bottom of your dash. I used a screw that was already in the dash down there holding something together. Backed it out, put it back in, and then I drilled a hole for one more and put it in there. So now it's mounted with the wires run to the battery and to the back trailer hookup, and we found places where we can splice in underneath the dash for our brake light and our ground. Now we just hook these up and we'll be good to go. So now I get some blade connectors and some crimps and hook it all up where it all goes, and that's about it. And then you test it. You have someone operate it here, and then you have someone checking it with a meter in the back. And just make sure you're getting power when it's applied. And then I recommend hooking it up to the trailer and really testing it out. Before you go too far, test in the parking lot, adjust your output. And then on this side you have your ramp time. Play around with that. Every trailer that weighs a little different, or depending on what kind of load you have on your trailer, you want to adjust those if we're going too far, because it's going to make a difference.
Hey y'all, thanks for watching. Appreciate a thumbs up, and I always appreciate your comments. Check out the channel. I got lots of content already there. You should subscribe because you know there's more coming. I got a website, j20jeepster.com. You can, from there, find my Facebook page, Instagram, and any other goodies I might have. So you might want to check that out too. Thanks.